Yo, what's up guys? Today's video is going to be another big video, but if you didn't watch my last one, make sure you go watch that one before you watch this one, because they kind of go hand in hand, but at the same time you don't have to if you don't want to. But a bunch of news came out today and yesterday. Of course, as you guys probably know, the Chicago Bulls are looking for a new GM. It finally looks like we're going to clear house, quote unquote clear house, because I saw that we might not fire Garpax, and I'll get into that later in the video as well. But like I was saying in my last video, the Pacers GM denied to take an interview with us. He didn't even want to talk to us, and straight off the bat, that gave me problems. You know, I don't know, something about that is strange. I mean, I don't blame the GMs. I wouldn't want to be a GM for the Chicago Bulls if they kept Garpax or whatever they're telling them. Who knows? But like I said, the Pacers GM is out on the job, and I'd say Casey Johnson put out like a list of like potential GM candidates. It's about 3 days old now, and already pretty much 3 of the candidates dropped out or denied, having interviews with us. The first one being the Pacers GM, like I said, and now there's rumors about the Heat's assistant GM, Adam Simon. He is most likely going to stay with the Heat, and the common sense is that the Bulls won't be granted permission to speak with the Raptors assistant GM, Bobby Webster, and that really sucks because he was my number one guy. I mean, he's pretty much under the best GM in the league, and like I said, the Raptors aren't going to allow us to interview him, and that sucks because I'm really high on him. Of course, he built the Toronto Raptors pretty much. He helped the GM take the Raptors from just a solid playoff team, trading for a superstar, making a bold move, and then winning the first title for them ever. Of course, in the list, there's probably more GM targets that aren't being listed. I'm sure this is going to go on for weeks. Hopefully we just don't hire someone right off the bat with one good interview. But the Chicago Bulls still have to interview Jazz GM and the Nuggets GM. And I also saw Casey Johnson tweeting about he wouldn't be surprised if the Magic's assistant GM Matt Floyd is included in that list. And earlier today, Woj tweeted out saying that Utah Jazz GM Justin Zanik, I don't know how to say that name, I'm sorry about that, he did a video interview with the Chicago Bulls today for the franchise's Executive VP of Basketball Operations opening. And the Denver Nuggets GM, I have no clue how to say this man's name, but I am also very high on him and wouldn't be mad if the Bulls targeted him and of course signed him. The Bulls will have an interview with him later on in this week, midweek they said, so it could be going on tomorrow or sometime soon. So now that a big few names have dropped out of the Bulls, contending list, I guess you could say, my number one choice right now is the Nuggets GM. I wouldn't be mad if we signed the Jazz GM because at the same time he's not terrible. I mean, he's obviously better than our GM. Like I said, look at the Jazz and the Nuggets compared to us. But I'm going to start with the Denver Nuggets GM. Back in 2016, he was considered one of the top candidates to be a new GM for the Brooklyn Nets, but then in 2017, he emerged as one of the candidates for a general manager position for the Bucks. And then on June 15, 2017, the Nuggets hired him to be their GM. And, he hasn't been a GM for long. He started from the bottom and then, kept getting promotions and was finally the GM. His first notable signing was a multi-year deal with Paul Millsap. And, that deal's not terrible. He kind of overpaid for him, but he is a good veteran. I mean, he's not the Paul Millsap that we once knew, but it's still not a bad signing. And then on February 15, 2019, he signed a multi-year contract extension with the Nuggets. So the Bulls are going to have to get him out of that contract if we want him. But I'm really high on this guy, like I said. And his 2 draft picks that he's drafted with the Nuggets are Michael Porter Jr., and of course I was really high on him when he came out of college. I honestly wanted the Bulls to take him with the 7th overall pick, but of course, he dropped far in the draft. He obviously had back issues that scared NBA teams and scouts, but at the same time he's played limited minutes with the Nuggets. But when he has played and looked healthy, he's looked like a walking bucket. If he can just stay healthy, he'll be a pretty good player in this league, I believe. And they also drafted Bol Bol with the number 44 pick. He's not a bad pick either. I mean, he's taking chances on injured players and players that usually don't get drafted. I mean, if Bol could just put on some weight and maybe stay healthy, he could maybe be a stud in this league. Who knows? I'm pretty sure he's playing for our G League still. But yeah, he's not a bad GM. He has a good eye for overseas talent, I saw. And now onto the Utah Jazz GM. Right now, he's currently the assistant GM for the Jazz. And when they hired him, they had nothing but positive things to say about him. They said, great hire for Utah and Justin Zanik. One of the smartest agents in the business, will be a great asset for them with the cap, contracts, and more. But yeah, like I'm saying, you know, most of these guys are assistant coaches, so they don't really get credit for making the moves or trades or signings. But obviously, they have good eyes for talent. And like I said, I expect this hiring process / interview process to go on for weeks. I don't expect the Bulls to just hire anyone. Hopefully we can get a good GM. I mean, there's not much more I can say about these dudes. I'm going to keep you guys updated with this whole GM situation. You know, I'm happy that we're finally making this happen. We're finally changing, you know, front office. Hopefully cleaning house. I don't know why we're just keeping Garpax. It doesn't make sense if they're really going to have, like, no say in anything. I mean, I saw that they might use Gar Foreman as a scout, and he's not a terrible scout, but like I said, if I was the GM, I would want them both out, and I would want 100% power, which rumors have said that they're giving that to them. But who knows with the Bulls? It's always drama or something. Hopefully the Bulls just hire someone good. But yeah, like I said, make sure you guys check out my last video. I'm going to keep making these videos. Thank you guys for always supporting me and watching these videos. Have a good one.